Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for stopping by the channel today for a video that I am so excited to get to. We're going to look at a small collection of cards that I have started building just this year. Don't know why I didn't pay these more attention sooner, but I've absolutely fallen in love with these. I think they're some of the more unique cards that I've picked up in recent memory, and they are hockey stick relics. And I figured what better video to use my original childhood wooden hockey stick as a backdrop for. So you can see my custom taped on handwritten name tag there from my dad. And this was my Vic Pee-wee age hockey stick that I would have used in the late 80s when I was first learning to skate and play the game of hockey as maybe like a 5 or a 6-year-old. So just really cool to still have that. And I figured it was a great background piece there because we are going to get into some stick relics. Now, I've picked up a few of these over the years that I've been collecting, but here in 2023, stumbled upon a set that I absolutely fell in love with. It is called Upper Deck Ingrained, and there are these ingrained remnants hockey stick relic cards. So here's the first one. We're going to look at maybe 8 or 9 today, but check this card out. This is Johnny Busick, Hall of Famer and 550 plus goal scorer at the NHL level for the Boston Bruins. And nice chunk of his wooden stick there, right in the middle. Just absolutely fell in love with the design of this set. As far as I know, this only came out for 2 years. I think it was 2018 and 2019 that they produced this ingrained set. And so yeah, not a ton of these out there. Every one of these stick relics, at least the base like this, are serial numbered out of 100, which I love as well. So you can see here, copy 46 of 100. Excellent foil work and design on these cards. Like, look at the rainbow foil along the bottom of this card. Just kind of jumps out at you. Really solid build and design. They have a classy look and feel. They're a little bit thicker than your standard trading card. These do require, I have found, 130 point cases. So I've gotten some 130 point magnetics and then these kind of superior fit bags to go over the magnetics. And I find that that stores these very well. And what you end up with is it really just feels like a little piece of history of the game of hockey. I mean, this is one of the most successful Boston Bruins ever here. Love this piece of his wooden stick. And, you know, the stick relics have a lot of character. Now, there are some of these, like the next one that we're going to look at here. This is Glenn Hall, one of the best goalies of the 50s and 60s. Some of them, like this, are kind of plain. There's a little bit of character here in the middle, but this is kind of a plain stick relic. Obviously, they used wooden sticks back in the day, so some of them look like this, which kind of remind me of a lot of the baseball bat relics. Bat relics are cool, but as most of us know who collect, you know, the odds of getting anything nice on the actual relic are pretty slim because 99% of the bat is just plain wood. And you do have like the nameplate, but it's very unlikely to get those, or those are very expensive cards. So that's kind of the same deal here for this Glenn Hall, but I did pick this up just because I thought it was so cool, you know, Hall of Fame goalie from that era, getting a piece of his wooden stick. But for the most part, I have tried to stick with unique relics themselves that really just kind of show an interesting piece. You know, the sticks have a lot of painting and logos and colors on them and different aspects. And so you can really capture some unique relics more so than you would with baseball bats or even with, you know, jersey relics, quite honestly. In baseball or hockey. And here's an example. This next one, the first two that you see here are from the 2018 set, the first release. This one is from the second and final release in 2019. So a little bit different design, but same idea here. And again, just great foil work, numbered out of 100. All of the cards we're going to see today are. In this case, I know this Chris Chelios, who I love because he hung out, you know, he played professionally until like 48 or something like that. So he's like the Jamie Moyer or Julio Franco of the NHL. But as a hockey player myself for many years, I can tell you that this pattern comes from the blade of the stick. So I think these first two probably come from the shaft of the stick. This Chelios comes from the blade. So I love that. Kind of takes me right back to youth hockey. I remember taping up my blade and kind of going over that pattern. So just a really cool Chelios relic there. And these are not, with one or two exceptions that I'll touch on, as we get through the video, these are not expensive pickups at all. Most of these are had for under $20 shipped. That was the case for 2 out of those first 3. I think Glenn Hall might have been 25, something like that. But having a lot of fun with this collection on the cheap. Now, the first 3 cards we've seen there, and most of the ones that I've picked up, I've tended to focus on Hall of Famers, but I will branch into non-Hall of Famers and just stars and kind of fan favorites, especially if there's a very unique relic. To me, the uniqueness of the relic kind of trumps everything on these cards. If you can find one with a great player and a unique relic, then great. But check this one out. Found this on ComC, and I don't know if this is going to come across, but this is really cool. This is from the top portion of the stick, and it's basically just some language from the manufacturer telling you what to do if you experience shaft breakage. You can see there on the second line. Definitely don't want to run into shaft breakage with your stick, but I just thought that was hilarious. This is probably, for someone, I've been trying to chase more unique items, just things that you don't see every day to kind of differentiate my collection and keep it interesting. And this is right up that alley. Like, I would be shocked. There's probably not another card in existence, Jeremy Roenick relic card, that contains, this shaft breakage warning and language from his stick. So I just thought that was awesome. And again, under $20 for this on ComC, number to 100. Roenick, not a Hall of Famer. Don't think he's going to be, most likely, but certainly a member of the Hall of Very Good, and just a super unique piece. And then following him, I have one other non-Hall of Famer in this video. And then we're going to look at some Hall of Famers to close it out. From the Edmonton Oilers dynasty in the 80s, won 3 Stanley Cups with the team, goaltender Andy Moog, who also played for my hometown Boston Bruins. But I love, look at this. This is from the blue wooden goalie stick that he would have used probably with the Oilers in the 80s. Just so awesome. And I should point this out, but what I love especially about both of these sets, aside from the quality card build and the interesting relics that you can find themselves, and the great use of rainbow foil, they have the correct language on the back, which is oh so important to me. They all say this, some variation of the same thing, but they basically guarantee that it's certified to them as having been used in an official NHL game. So these are not, a stick that somebody held in a photo shoot or, some other type of event. These are, game used sticks. And I just think that the character of these cards is really, really awesome. So there's a nice Andy Moog for the Oilers collection. And then I have another Oiler teammate, also from those dynasty years to go with him, defenseman Kevin Lowe. And check this one out. He was known, at least at a point in his career, for using wooden Koho sticks. Koho was the manufacturer. And you can see this is a portion of the KO from the Koho logo. So a Koho Kevin Lowe here. And I know, Kevin Lowe, I know, is not like a super collected player. I get it. But he's a Hall of Fame defenseman, was part of that important Oilers dynasty. This is an incredibly unique and cool relic. And I won this recently on eBay for $9. So as I always say, you do not need to spend a lot of money to have a blast in the hobby. And you can make kind of a fun collection like this on the cheap. I've just been having a blast tracking these down. But the final 3 that I have, I think, are even a step above what we've looked at so far here. And let's start. It's only going to feature 2 different players, but the first one features one of the premier goal scorers in the history of the league, another Hall of Famer, Brett Hull. And check it out. Not only did I find a Brett Hull, but I found a Brett Hull with a portion of his stick containing the letter B, which I think is just awesome. Obviously, his father was Bobby Hull. He's Brett. That's, an important letter, an initial in the Hull family, one of the best known families in hockey history. And I just think that is beyond awesome, just by coincidence, to get the portion of the stick that had the B in the logo for Brett. So another example of just kind of the creativity here that you can find. Now, I mean, a lot of his relics are going to be plain black or, portions of the stick that don't have a unique design. So I'm trying to avoid those and be a little bit more selective and try to guide my purchases to these more unique items, and definitely, succeeded with this Brett Hull. And then to close it out, I have 2 cards of my favorite current NHL player, absolute superstar, absolute beast, Connor McDavid of the Edmonton Oilers. I actually managed to find 2 one from each year of the 100 McDavid cards that were produced each year. Now here's the second one first. We'll go in reverse order from 2019. And this one's cool for a lot of the same reasons as the relic. Got the made in China portion of McDavid's stick. So obviously by the time he's come around as a player, we are out of the days of wooden sticks like my Pee-wee stick that we saw at the beginning of the video, or some of these older guys like Kevin Lowe in the background. And they are using highly complex composite sticks nowadays that are oftentimes made overseas and just really cool. It's interesting to think, how many goals McDavid may have scored while he held this, the stick that this relic came from in his hands. It's just really, really cool. Instantly becomes a favorite McDavid card of mine, and just a really sneaky good relic. These, when I stumbled upon these, there were a couple out there, kind of snatched them up, and I have to say that since then they've really kind of dried up. So I'll keep my eye open for any other McDavids. But the one that I have to finish off the video tops even this. It is definitely my single favorite stick relic of the 9 that I've picked up so far. I think it was maybe the first one I bought too that kind of gave me the itch. Check this McDavid out from the first ingrained set. Wow. And just like the Brett Hull, by coincidence, managed to get the portion of Connor's stick that has the letter M on it for McDavid. He uses a CCM brand stick, and so this is the M from the CCM logo off of one of his game used sticks. So just really, really cool. This is one of my favorite cards that I've picked up this entire year, period. And it was a pretty decent price, I think, given what it is and how important a player he is. He's about to win another MVP, just crush the league again, leading in goals, assists, and another scoring title. Hasn't had that postseason success just yet, but man, amazing card of my favorite player. Would love to track down an Ovechkin and some of the other superstars. I do have a couple more of these on the way, and so I may do another video in the future, but I had enough of them built up that I wanted to do this video today, show off my childhood hockey stick and show off some of these new hockey stick pieces that I've been collecting here in 2023. So I hope you enjoyed this segment. I'm really digging these relic cards and having a blast picking them up. Hope that came across on video. And I appreciate you tuning in for the hockey content especially. But I think anyone that collects cards or looks for unique items in the hobby can probably appreciate the beauty and the coolness of these cards. So that's a wrap for today. Appreciate your time, and I'll be back in the very near future with some more sports card content. Till then, enjoy the hobby, everybody. Take care.